leading tight ends in NFL history. Second most receptions, yards, and touchdowns in postseason history. Kelce was asked about how does he always get open? Take a listen.
Why am I always open? I say it all the time. Andy Reid, baby. Big Red. He can dial some stuff up at the right time, create some things at the right time, and then on top of that, everybody's doing their job. It's not just me just go out there and get open kind of play. I'm sure you guys like to think that, but there's a lot of madness to it, and there's a lot of guys doing their job for the big picture, and I'm fortunate that I'm playing here for sure.
Travis Kelce is a gem, isn't he? Always. His mom was at NFL Honors last night. All right, Shannon, what do you make of what Travis said about how he always gets open?
I don't have a problem with what he said because Big Red, Andy Reid is a great play caller. He's a great designer of plays. He allows the players to come over things, skip the ring around the roses and all the stuff that he be doing, Mahomes with the underhand things that he does. But Andy Reid is not actually throwing the ball to Travis Kelce. Skip, Travis Kelce was never mentioned in the GOAT conversation for tight ends with Alex Smith. He was putting up great numbers, but it wasn't until Patrick Mahomes took over this offense 5 years ago that all of a sudden we started talking about, hold on, who is this 87 kid in Kansas City? What's going on? And so, yes, Andy, the design, play calling matters. But if it didn't matter, why isn't Kellen Moore in Dallas anymore? Why is Byron Leftwich in Tampa anymore if play calling doesn't matter? It does matter. Schemes matter. Finding ways to get to maximize what Travis Kelce does well, and then having a quarterback that can get the ball to him in any situation. See, I know what you're doing. You think you're slick.
I haven't said a word. Have I spoken?
No,
I haven't said a word.
You speak without saying anything. I've been with you for 6 going on 7 years,
yes,
so I know you. See, what you're trying to do is talk about this all Andy and try to diminish Patrick Mahomes 1-5, but I ain't gonna let you do it. You see these numbers. How many times did Alex Smith have the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game? He was there a long time. Patrick Mahomes been the starter 5 years. Not one time have they not played in the AFC Championship.
That is correct.
Have they not had that game at home?
Yeah.
3 of those 5 times, Patrick Mahomes has played the final Sunday on the schedule.
He has. And?
I know Andy was in Philly. How many times did they go to the Super Bowl when he was in Philly?
Once.
Was he calling plays there?
He was. They got Brady'd in that game.
No. Brady was in the Super Bowl. But I'm talking about get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was there for like 12, 14 years?
Yeah.
Went to 1 Super Bowl. Kansas City get Patrick Mahomes, he can't stay out of the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, they call it the Kansas City Invitational now. Renamed it. That's how often the Chiefs are in the game. So don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. You know Patrick Mahomes special.
As I just enlightened you as we opened the show, in the Kansas City Invitational Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes has thrown 2 touchdown passes to 4 interceptions. What? Congratulations, Shannon.
Just because you have it in the invitational, that doesn't mean you win it all the time.
You opened your remarks, Mr. Sharp.
Yes.
By saying, I don't have a problem with what Travis Kelce said. And then you proceeded to have a big problem with what Travis Kelce said because he did not say, oh, Patrick Mahomes, baby. He said, Andy Reid, baby.
Yes.
And I was surprised, and the more I thought about it last night, I got shocked over it because nobody does that. Nobody would say that. Back in your heyday with the Denver Broncos, and in fact, I see some 84s. I see
you see them all day.
There's some 84s. Oh, there's some 84s. We got some 84s. Who wore that? Rod Smith?
Yeah, Rod Smith. Rod was 80. They know who 84 was.
Oh, it was Ed McCaffrey, right?
87.
Okay, 87. Okay. In your heyday, if you had been at the podium in the 3 Super Bowls you played at, and they said, how do you get so open, Shannon? You'd say, John Elway is the GOAT, man. He is the greatest, right?
No, John throwing me the ball. Mike and Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, came up with the schemes that put me in position.
I got it. But the right answer to that question is John Elway. It just is, because you revered him. You honored him. You loved playing him because you got to catch passes from a top 5 all-time quarterback.
Well, I definitely would have handled it differently. I'd have given John his credit,
yes,
but I also would have given Mike and Coob their credit because now I don't want to diminish them because now they're going to start designing plays for Ed and Rod. And so now they're going to shortchange me. So I got to give everybody the credit, Skip.
Okay, so I started thinking last night, when Devontae, we all thought Devontae Adams was the best receiver in football. When he was with Aaron Rodgers, if they'd said, Devontae, how do you get so open? Would he have said, oh, it's Coach LaFleur? No, he wouldn't have said that. He would have said, it's Aaron.
But Skip,
like Aaron looks for me and he just gets it to me where I can catch it.
But if you look at Devontae, he leads Aaron Rodgers, and he's still a first-team All-Pro. He still has 1,500 yards. He still leads the league in touchdown passes caught. So who was that? Was that Derek Carr? Remember, Derek Carr got benched, and he still put up those numbers. So Josh McDaniels did something.
Okay. Gronk, in their heyday together, if he'd been asked, how do you get so open on all the big third downs? It's Tommy, baby. It's Tommy, right? He wouldn't have said it's Josh McDaniels or Bill Belichick.
Well, Skip, that's a little different because we've never seen Gronk without any other quarterback.
No.
He was unwilling to go play with any other quarterback. He would rather retire than go play with another quarterback.
Okay.
So he has no choice but to give the credit to Brady because we don't know what he's like. He knows, because here's the thing, Skip, he knows what it's like to be without Patrick Mahomes. He is not in the GOAT conversation. Do you believe we're having this same conversation about Kelce? If Alex Smith is still his quarterback?
No. I also think we wouldn't have this conversation if Andy Reid were not his coach.
Oh, no question.
Because we fought for years over Belichick, Brady, in New England.
Correct.
I said, I'll go 75% of the credit Brady to 25 for Belichick. Now I'm like 90 to 10 because Belichick's getting exposed.
Yes.
But the point is, with Andy Reid and Patrick, I give Andy 50% of the credit because he's got genius on offense.
He does.
He is clever, creative. He is ahead of the curve. And it was his baby. He went up in the draft and said, I want that kid at Texas Tech. I didn't see it. You didn't see it.
Nobody saw it.
We had him on the show before the draft.
Yes.
We liked him and all, but we weren't saying, hey, you're going to Andy Reid and you're going to change the world. Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody saw this kid winning two MVPs.
Andy got the biggest, newest toy he's ever had, and he's been coaching a long time. He was 14 years the Eagles coach.
Right.
Now he's, believe it or not, he's 10 years in Kansas City now.
So 10 years in 3 Super Bowls, 14 years in 1 Super Bowl, and you don't think the quarterback matters?
Well, he does. But in this case, scheme really matters. And by the way, the other guy that I hated that comment for was Eric Bieniemy, because as soon as Travis Kelce says, Big Red, baby, well, what's it do to Eric Bieniemy? Everybody says, well, Eric calls plays. I don't know what happens, but the credit keeps going to Big Red, right?
It does, Skip. Andy Reid could be at home with a fever.
Yeah.
And Eric Bieniemy call plays and they score 150 points in the game. And they go like, well, Big Red, he was at the phone calling them in for the game. He was calling the plays from home. They not going to give EB
maybe
credit.
he would be. I don't know. But again, he's half the battle because it's his scheme.
Yes.
It's his brainchild.
Yes.
He just keeps, he makes it so fun. They're coming up with all those crazy red zone plays.
Yes.
And in the big picture, I get why Travis Kelce just blurts out, Big Red, baby, because he deserves that much credit as opposed to what Belichick was doing with Brady.
Well, it's fun when they come to work because they don't have any idea what Andy has already drawn up for him on Wednesday.
No.
So he's going to be, okay, let's do the ring around the rosy. Oh, Patrick. And Skip, and first of all, ain't no quarterback going to let you at a practice throw the ball behind your back.
No,
like Patrick Mahomes be practicing in practice.
Nobody, no other coach would do it.
No.
And in fact, encourage it. Oh, do it. No, look it, baby.
Yes. Man, Coach, catch you doing that in an actual practice where they're actually calling plays. Like, what you think this is?
So your brother got to play for Coach Reid, but he was the what?
He was OC. He was the OC in Green Bay.
Okay, well then he did get to play in that offense.
He did, but Holmgren called plays.
Okay. Because he was the head coach.
He was the head coach.
Same sort of concept,
same
right?
thing.
Okay. Would you have loved to play for Andy Reid?
Oh, absolutely.
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 Would you have loved to play with Patrick Mahomes? Absolutely.
Man, well, I played with Patrick Mahomes minus the trickery shots in John Elway.
You did.
Because a big, strong-arm guy that can roll one way or the other, throw the ball. I think he had better legs than Patrick Mahomes, but John would not even think about doing some of the passes that Patrick does.
And yet, to frame this, as great as John Elway was, this is pre-you, he goes to 3 straight Super Bowls and gets annihilated.
Yes.
Like, gets completely blown off the field until out of heaven falls another 6th-round pick named Terrell Davis. Right?
Yep.
And here you go.
Yes.
You needed a running back to complement the quarterback.
Correct.
And then you're there and you take off and you win 2. And John, I thought you could have won 3 in a row, but John said, I've had enough.
Yes.
My body says no.
Them legs started hurting, Skip.
Yep. That's what happens. Ask Tom Brady. Right?
But see, So you want Big Red in Dallas? So you believe if you had Big Red in Dallas, you guys will win the Super Bowl, you go into the Super Bowl?
No, you know what's funny about that? We're going to talk more about it in a few minutes, and I'll just leave it be. But the point is, when Andy Reid was the Eagles coach all those years, I never feared him because their teams were viewed as soft.
Right.
Like he ran a country club. He was too good to the players, too nice,
right.
and they always came up short because they weren't tough enough.
Right.
And yet he was calling all the play. He had Donovan
Right.
McNabb, and they got to that one Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Skip,
right?
Donovan was a very good player.
He was.
But this kid here is next level.
I got it. It's a whole nother level.
It is.
So, no, I don't want Big Red in Dallas. I don't want Mike McCarthy either. So,
hold on. You don't want Big Red, so you don't want Big Red coaching the Cowboys?
No, I do not. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't need him. I don't need him. We're better than he is.
Who? What you mean?
We don't need him. We owned Andy Reid when he coached the Eagles, so I'm not buying.
You do realize, like, Andy's been to 4 Super Bowls since you last been to 1.
Okay. So we got 5. We got 5 trophies. That's all I know. Yeah.
Skip, it's been so long.
Okay. Well, if he wants to bring Mahomes with him, I'll become a Mahomes fan.
No. You got your quarterback.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait a minute. You said it's the play caller, it's the design. So we giving you the designer.
Yeah.
Now you just used the sword. I gave you the design. Now you just build it with what you got.
Okay, but I know he's not coming to Dallas because he wouldn't want to coach for Jerry Jones because Jerry coaches the Dallas Cowboys, right? In the